Being great at sales is essential to your business and your career, but you and I both know that the stress of selling and dealing with constant rejection can be an emotional drain. My entire brand, No BS Selling, is based on the belief that professional sales is a skill and not a personality, and that to be better at sales takes constant refinement and a dedication to your craft. This show is for salespeople and entrepreneurs who are committed to improving their sales skills and getting better results, and are sick and tired of the BS game that often happens between buyers and sellers. Welcome to the No BS Sales Podcast, and I'm your host, Walker McKay. I'll help you and your sales team make selling easier, feel less cheesy, and be more lucrative. It's time to change the rules and level the playing field between you and the people you sell to. You're already good, let's be better. Welcome to the No BS Sales Podcast. I'm your host, Walker McKay. Early, mid-June, feels like the world's on fire. It's crazy out there. Businesses seem to be opening up. Some are, some aren't. People trying to get back to some sense of normalcy, which may or may not come. It'll be different, of course. It'll be the same in some ways, different, of course. What I want to talk to you about today, the reason I want you to listen is I have a very strong opinion I want to share with you. And it's about how to handle something, and it's something that I don't do very well. But I'm going to share it with you so maybe you can learn from my mistakes. Here's the story. You may have heard this before. Nobody gives a shit what you think about things. Nobody gives a shit about your opinion. They just don't. Opinions are free. Opinions are cheap. Opinions are easy. Everybody's got one. You know the joke, right? Everybody's got one, especially in these divisive times. We got all this crazy shit going on in the world, and everybody's got a theory, everybody's got an opinion, and nobody really gives a shit about yours. And if you're in sales, it's even better to keep your damn opinions to yourself. And I'll give you one caveat. It's when you've earned the right to share it. When you've earned the right to share your opinion. I'm going to tell you how you earn the right to share your opinion. But if you ain't earned the right, keep your damn opinions to yourself. If somebody says, what do you think about this whole coronavirus thing? I don't give a shit about your conspiracy theories. I don't give a shit about what you think one way or another. If somebody says, what do you think about it? I want you to say, well, I know what I think, but what do you think about it? Put it back on them. See, your job in sales is not to share your opinions. Your job in sales is to find out your prospects' opinions. A lot of people go on a sales call and everybody knows, ask questions, ask questions, ask questions. And what they ask are data questions. How many? How much? But instead, data's good, we got to have it, but I want you to go out and solicit your prospects' opinions about stuff. What do they like? What do they not like? What's working? What's not working? Where could they find the money? What do they think the right solution is? Their opinions. Let's talk about what's going on now in the world first, about the awful riots that are going on, the awful things that people are doing to one another. The damn virus, right? Everybody's got an opinion. Here's what I challenge you to do. Go to your customer's office or talk to him on the phone. Probably more likely these days, right? Talk to him on the phone. Don't share your opinion about the coronavirus. Don't share your opinion about the police. Don't share your opinion about protests. Keep that shit to yourself. Instead, if somebody asks you, say, what do you think? Right? And after they finish sharing what they think, just nod. No reason to share what you think if it's the same or different. This is a challenge. This is an exercise. Maybe the hardest challenge I can give you. I know it's one of the hardest things for me. Here I am with a friggin' podcast telling you not to share your opinions. And what I'm doing is sharing my opinion. Well, if you want to share your opinion, get a damn podcast. I'll be happy to show you how. I'll tell you a story. Some of you may have heard this before. I was teaching a class up in Greenville, South Carolina. And this is what kind of led me into this opinion thing. And this is probably 11, 12 years ago. And I walked into my class, and there was a lady who was in the class, one of my students, and her name was Jamie, and she worked for a trucking company. And she was great. She grew up in a little town, lived in a little town, and she was a small town girl. She has been, she has big hair. She talks with a twang, and she was a bodybuilder, and she was tough as nails. She'd been engaged for 8 years, and her fiance gave her a nickel-plated .45 pistol instead of an engagement ring, because that's what she wanted, because nothing says true love like a Colt 45. Jamie was not someone to be messed with. Didn't want to mess with her. She was delightful. She was fun, but I never wanted to cross her. So I walked into my class one morning, back when you could do that, and Jamie greets me with, "You look like shit." I was like, wow, okay. By the way, that's one of my favorite greetings. It throws people off guard every single time. So she picked that up for me, I guess. But I did feel like shit. And I looked at her and I said, "Yep, I'm sure. I've got insomnia," I said. And she barely took a breath. She said, "You should eat more fish." Well, I remember inside my head, as I heard her say those things and look at me, I was like, ah, and bombs went off in my head. And the first thing that I thought of was, "You idiot. You idiot." I was pissed, visibly. Well, I hope not too visibly, because she might have killed me, but inside my head, I was pissed. And I went on and I taught my class, and I was kind, whatever, said goodbye. And I got in the car to drive home, and I said, "Why did that set you off so much? What was it about her comment to you, which was only meant for good? Why'd that make you so mad?" And what I realized was that, well, she hadn't earned the right to give me her opinion yet. She hadn't earned the right, hadn't fully understood my problem before she shared her opinion with me of what to do about it. This, I realized, was one of the main problems that salespeople have. We so much want to jump in and show people how freaking smart we are. And we want to give them the answer, because we've seen this before. We know what this looks like. We know how they can fix it. And all we want to do is just jump to the end where we can just go ahead and write a PO. We look smart. We get a check. We get a contract. They get their problem solved. We get our money. We get our stuff done. And then we move on. Wouldn't that be great if that were the case? Most of the time, 99.999% of the time, it's not. It's not the way things work. I was thinking as I was driving home, what caused me to flip? And what could she have done differently? Maybe to get my attention more, to earn the right to offer a solution that I would have listened to, that I would have paid attention to, because I guess you got the right to offer a solution, but I want to offer a solution that somebody else would say, "Hey, what a good idea." Instead of in their mind saying, "Idiot," even if the damn advice is the same. And what causes that, or what you can do, is to fully understand where your prospect is coming from before you share an opinion about what they should do to fix it. And guys, here's what this means. No BS sales team, here's what this means. It means you have to slow down. It means you have to be patient. I teach a sales process. Many of you know that. It's 7 steps, and it's easy. It's simple. It's aggravating as hell, especially at first for some of my clients, because what they want is to jump to the end where they get the check. Well, that's where they were before they met me. And how is that working? Not so good most of the time, which is why they hire me and pay me a bunch of money. people don't give a shit about your opinion until they feel like you fully understand them. And I will even say beyond that, your customers don't give a shit about your opinion until they have paid you. So here's how you can earn the right to offer a solution. And here is what Jamie, not her real name, here's what Jamie could have done that could have changed that story. I could have walked into the room and said, and she could have said the same thing, you look like shit, as she said. And I could have rubbed my head like I did and say, thanks, I've got insomnia. And she said, insomnia? Tell me more about that. Which sounds like a really stupid question, right? Or a really stupid comment. But I would have said, well, I don't sleep well. Go to bed at 10 o'clock at night. And it seems like most of the time I wake up the next day and I feel like shit. And she might have said, really, give me an example. And I might have said, well, last night I went to bed at 10:30, exhausted, woke up at 12:30, like a shotgun had gone off in my room, bolted up in bed, heart racing. I'm up around, I'm uncomfortable, heart racing, feel bad, angry, anxious, wandering around till about 4:30 in the morning when I made myself get back into bed. I'd read books, I'd done all this stuff to make myself sleepy. Finally, at 4:30, I forced myself to get into bed. And I must have fallen asleep sometime between then and 5 o'clock. But my 6-month-old son woke up at 5:30, like he does every morning, screaming. So I'd get up and take care of him. My wife and I got up to take care of him. Nobody sleeps when he wakes up. Didn't matter if I had to take care of him or not. Nobody sleeps when he wakes up. So I've been awake all day. And she might say, so how long has that been going on? How long have you been dealing with that? Or how often does that happen? And I might have said, it's been going on about 6 months. She could have said, huh, wow. So what have you tried to do about it, Walker? And I might have said, well, let's see. I've been to the chiropractor. I have been to my doctor. I have taken up exercise. I've been running. I changed my diet. I gave up chocolate. I gave up booze for a couple days. And she might have said, huh, any of that stuff work? At which I would have said, hell no. Hell no, it didn't work. And she might have then said, God, what do you suppose that's cost you? This insomnia thing. What do you suppose that's cost you? That you can't sleep. And I might have gone through the mental calculations and said something like, well, let's see. I know I have not been effective at work for the past 6 months. I'm sure I hadn't been prospecting like I needed to be. I'm certain that I have not been handling myself in my sales calls well. I know I've forgotten to ask for referrals. Shit, I bet it's cost me 150 grand. She said, couldn't be that much. I say, hell, I bet it's more than that. And if I think about how mad my wife gets at me because how grumpy I am, I don't know what a divorce costs, but a lot more than I want to spend. She might have said, wow, goodness gracious. So more than 150 grand? Easily more than 150 grand. Is that a big deal, Walker? She might have said, were she on her game? Are you kidding me? Fuck yeah, it's a big deal. I'm miserable. This sucks, and it's costing me money. At that point, she might have said, so what happens if you don't do anything? And I would have said, that's just not an option. I have to fix this. I'm going to freaking kill myself for somebody else. Hypothetically, of course, not real. And then she might have said, so what do you think you need to do? And I might have looked at her and said, I don't have any flipping idea, because if I did, I wouldn't be standing here right now. And then she might have said, are you open to outside ideas of how to fix that? At which case I would have said, hell yes, I am. Hell yes, I am. Please share. And she might have said, you know what, I had a friend who had a similar problem to you. Wasn't sleeping at night, woke up walking around all night long, happened over and over and over again. And she did a bunch of research and she figured out that her diet was the problem, that she needed more omega-3s, which you find in fish and almonds, among other places. And so she added salmon and almonds to her diet 3 or 4 or 5 times a week. And over the next 2 or 3 weeks, she noticed that her brain began to calm down and she began to sleep through the night again. I don't know, is that something you think might work for you? Would you be open to something like that? Here's what I know about me, is if she had handled it that way, I might have even canceled class, driven to the damn grocery store, loaded up my car with salmon and almonds, and probably eaten it all by the time I got home. No shit. I would have eaten it all, every bit, because that was such a problem for me. And she would have helped me figure out what a problem that was. She would have helped me understand how it was impacting my life. And just by her asking those questions, I would have given her the benefit of the doubt that she knew what the hell she was talking about. Because she would have taken the time to fully understand me and my situation, to know where I was coming from, and to let me talk about it, to let me get it out of my mouth, what my opinions were about what needed to be done, what I had done, what it cost me. Was that a big deal? And see, after that's done, then all of a sudden, and then you ask permission, right? To share a solution. She could have shared it, and I would have followed it. With your prospects, do not share solutions. The right solution is your damn opinion. Find out their opinions first. Find out their opinions more about the problem. How long's it been going on? What have they tried to do about it? Did that work? What do they suppose it's cost them? Is that a big deal? What happens if they don't fix it? What do they think they need to do? And then ask if they're open to outside ideas. See, that's the way you can fully understand your prospect. You can understand them and where they're coming from, and they know that you understand them. See, even if you've seen the same thing 500 times before and you can jump to the end, people want to believe that they're different and that they need to be understood, right? Before they're going to accept what we have to tell them. We go back. Keep your opinions to yourself on a sales call. Don't engage with opinions. Ask people what they think. You'll be stunned at how little they ask you what you think. Here's the safe way to handle it. When they ask you, after sharing their own opinion, after they tell you what they think, if they say, what do you think? The safest thing is to say, I'm with you. You have nothing to gain by sharing a different opinion. You have nothing to gain about how smart you are with your opinion. You have everything to lose. See if you can work on having conversations where you elicit other people's opinions without sharing your own. That may be the hardest thing I could ever send you out to do, but maybe you'll begin to notice, shit, this is hard. It's hard as hell for me because I'm an opinionated guy. We all are. But in a sales call, get their opinions first. All right, I've got a newsletter that goes out once a week. If you want to get on the newsletter list, text the letters NOBS to the number 66866. NOBS, the number 66866. That'll give you a link to some videos we've done that week. That'll give you a link to the podcast. That gives you a link to some articles that we're reading, and also a book list. It's a lot of good stuff there. The newsletter list is growing like crazy. We also offer special offers to people on the news list, on the email list. One other thing I'll mention to you is that my course, the No BS Sales System course that I've been so excited about, that is 11 modules. It's about 6 hours of video, a 40+ page workbook. It describes, has in detail my entire sales system, all the questioning strategies, all the how-to, the steps of the process. It's 18 months in the working, 18 months to get here, and I am super freaking excited. It will be for sale. It will be live and for sale on July the 1st. You can buy it and download it on July the 1st. The price is $497. That includes a workbook. That includes the 6 hours of video. It includes all kinds of other stuff. It also includes a 7 sales mistakes video. However, for my listeners to this podcast, if you want to pre-order it, I will knock $150 off the price of the course. But you got to email me, walker@walkermckay.com, between now and June 15th and say, I want to pre-buy the course. I've opened this thing up to existing clients, and the first 15 people who asked me to pre-buy the course. I will also throw in, at no extra charge, an 8-video series on prospecting that is damn good, about how to be better at prospecting the No BS way. And I'll also throw in a sheet so that you can keep track, a PDF that you can keep track of your behavior, which is the best way that you can grow your businesses, to do prospecting and to keep track of your behavior. I'll throw that into no extra charge. So it's $347 if you send me an email between now and June 15th, and you're in the first 15 people, and I'll give you that discount, and you'll get to enjoy the course. And I think there's a hell of a lot there to learn about how to sell and how to be a professional. So if you want access to that, email me, walker@walkermckay. I'll get you the discount on the course, and we'll move forward. No BS Sales Team, I appreciate you very much. Thank you for listening. Thanks for putting up with me. Please share this with other people who need to hear it. Also, please press subscribe. I think I'm supposed to say smash subscribe. Become a member of this thing. Thank you so much. Have a great week. Go get them.